Hey guys, how's it going? It's Target here. Welcome back to another edition of Target Talks, our second episode here. Before we get into the questions, I just wanted to say thanks again. We're up at 6,000 subscribers now. I can't do it without you guys. It seems like only a couple weeks ago we were at 5,000, so things are growing really quickly, and I thank you guys for that. Alright, so let's see here. I'm going to get to the Twitter questions first. Alright, just because if you guys have any questions at all, make sure that you go to Twitter first, because that's where I respond to them first. I'm trying to get a better following there, so go there. Alright, make sure you subscribe to me, make sure you ask your question, and put hashtag Target Talks for the next one, alright? Oh, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I just ran up the stairs. Alright, so the first question comes from @NickWenzel. How did you come up with the name Target Audience? Alright, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do this one first. How'd you come up with the name Target Audience? Well, my favorite artist, my favorite band or whatever, is Marilyn Manson. That'll be in one of the other questions I'm going to answer here. But, and one of the songs on my favorite album is called Target Audience, and it was from that point on that I just named my Xbox Live gamer tag Target Audience, and from there it just stuck, and I went with that because it was my gamer tag, and you know what, it just works in terms of the name Target Audience. It works towards targeting a market, right? So in terms of like public appeal, Target Audience is actually not bad of a name. It's kind of clever for that, so I went with it. And the number 18 is the number I wore in sports, so I just tacked that onto the end. It's not part of my gamer tag, but it is part of my my YouTube account because there was another Target Audience, so had to use 18. All right, question number 2 comes from @BlueArrow26. What's your favorite movie and app? My favorite movie, actually I have to put 2 of them, the Lord of the Rings series / The Hobbit, and Django. I love Django. When that movie came out, it was just one of those thrill rides that you just can't get enough of. So funny, so good, so action-packed, really entertaining, all around a really good movie. In terms of my favorite app, all my sports apps. I'm on TSN, Sportsnet, all the different apps, NHL, the Oilers app. I make sure that I'm up to date on my hockey almost all the time. I check it a couple times a day, if not more. So I'd have to say my favorite app are just all my sports apps. Next question comes from Enrico Creator. What's the stupidest thing you've ever done? That's a tough question, you know. There's a lot of dumb things you do in your life. I don't have any major regrets. I don't have any major regrets in terms of stupid things. But probably not studying harder in school. I think that I could have had I basically figured out how to properly study. Like, everybody has a different method. I figured out how to properly study pretty much the last semester of college. So, or university. I mean, if that says anything, then yeah. I mean, if I had known that in high school, junior high, and so on, I would definitely have been scoring a lot higher than I did. I mean, I wasn't bad, but I definitely wasn't great either. So, I mean, it's a give and take on that sense. Next question comes from R. Parendo. I believe he asked one in the last one. What was your most awkward moment in high school? Okay, well, if I were to choose the most non-funny awkward moment in high school, I got into a fight with my pretty much best friend at the time, and that pretty much ended our relationship. The tension had grown, and you know what? I totally regret it. I regretted it at the time. I'm over it now. I think that am I better off without him? Nah, I don't think it's real. My life would really be too much different if he was still around. I mean, he ended up being a total douche in the end. So, I mean, it wasn't my fault that it happened. I was just the one that started the fight because I was tired of his shit. So, that'd probably be the most awkward moment. It created a lot of tension among our circle of friends. So, that would probably be the most awkward moment in terms of not funny. But the funniest awkward moment was our high school is really close to a mall in Edmonton, and we used to go to the mall, you know, early in the morning sometimes and just skip class. We had a weird program at our school, and we used to skip class. And one time we came back into the school and we walked through the front doors and it's like dead quiet in there. Like, there's nothing going on. We start searching, like heading up to our normal area. Just a little odd that it's so quiet, because our school isn't necessarily, it's not the same. You don't have people in class all the time. You have people all the way around because it's kind of like it's more like a college more than it was a high school. So if you get that kind of a sense of things, it was learn at your own pace. So there was a bunch of people in different areas, but it was dead quiet and nothing was going on. Next thing you know, some guy like jumps up from behind this little room. There was like a door there. He opens the door and like jumps out and says, "Hey, get in here!" And it ended up being a lockdown. We were having a lockdown drill. It wasn't a real lockdown, but it was a lockdown drill. And so we were in big trouble, to say the least. So it's pretty awkward when you walk into that. I mean, it's one thing if you just walk in late and somebody catches you, but when everybody in the building is supposed to be hiding and you're walking through the halls, pretty awkward. All right, next one comes from @JJ99Hockey. Who is inspiring to you and also known as your hero? And also known as your hero? Well, in terms of heroes, I don't really have a hero. But I definitely have an inspiring person in my life, and it's definitely my wife. She is one of the most incredible people that I have ever met. Her ability to organize and execute is like nothing that I have ever seen before. It's just incredible. She makes me want to work harder in my life at everything because I can see how much can be accomplished when you work that hard. She's so determined. It is absolutely amazing. I am floored by her determination. So she's definitely my inspiration. And you know what? If you call that heroism, then yeah, she's my hero too. I don't really have too many heroes in my life. I have people I look up to. I would never consider them a hero because that's a lofty expectation to put on somebody. I think to say that they inspire you and they want you to be better, that's a lot more worthy of your recognition anyway. All right, next question comes from El Chupacabra 2. We're out of the the Twitter comments at the moment. What's your favorite beer? Oh my favorite beer is definitely Shock Top. I love white beers, but if for those of you that haven't had Shock Top before, it's amazing. In Western Canada here, it's only available on draft or tap, however you want to say it, and I have to go to a bar in order to get it. I can't buy buy a case of beer and then drink that. So I have to buy it at a bar on tap, and there's only a few restaurants that have them. So I really do pick my restaurants when I want to go out and have a beer like that. If I don't have Shock Top available, then I'll drink Rickard's White or Hoegaarden or any other kind of Hoegaarden or any other kind of white beer that's available. I really am a big white beer fan. I will drink a stout or a lager as well, depending on how I'm feeling. But definitely white beer is my favorite, and more specifically Shock Top. All right, David Garcia asks, what would you change about the Oilers right now? Oh my goodness, you're opening an entire box of worms. Defense is obviously the one that leaps off the page right off the bat, because defense for the Oilers, they are really struggling. And it's not just defensive players, it's team defense. And I think that that's going to come. I don't think that the addition of any players is really going to change anything defensively. I think it's just time. The Oilers need to get used to Dallas Eakins' system, and once they've got that system down, then they'll be good to go. But defense, in terms of defensive players, they need to upgrade. I mean, they started the year with probably 3 good veterans, top 4 veterans, nothing fancy, not top 2, and a couple rookies, and now they're down to pretty much the bare minimum. I think it's obvious to everybody that the Oilers need to upgrade their defense. You can't leave everything up to Ben Scrivens and Victor Faust, but we'll see how things go. I think that Oilers would definitely benefit from a player like Shea Weber, and I think you'll see a massive push for him during the offseason. All right, Sandy from MN asks, will you stream ever? I did. Yeah, I will. I will stream for this one again. I did stream in NHL 13. Now that I have a much bigger following, I think it'll be a little bit easier and feel a little bit more rewarding to do it. What we'll do is we'll put it up to a vote. If we want to do live the life, be a GM, and that's pretty much it. Because I don't like to stream and play online. You get a big lag going on when you're doing that. So we will do an offline mode. So live the life or be a GM, whatever you guys want to see, okay? I'll ask. Be a GM is usually the best, but we'll organize that. It'll be through YouTube, so you won't have to go anywhere else. I would do it through Twitch. A couple people have mentioned it before, but Twitch TV doesn't actually give me the ability to monetize. Now, for those of you that don't know what monetization is, it's actually getting paid for your content. I do get paid for my content, and so it's important to me that I take advantage of that. I mean, if I'm on Twitch just doing it for free, I appreciate it, but there's a medium available to me on YouTube where I can just stream there, and I make money off of that. So I would rather do it that way. Next question comes from Gordon Chung. What is your favorite hockey team? I really don't know that you've been watching my videos if you have to ask this question. Without a doubt, it's the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, I'm born and raised in Edmonton. I currently live in the city, and I've always watched the Edmonton Oilers. I watched the tail end of Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Kevin Lowe, all those guys before they got shipped off. So I got to see all the really good players just at the tail end, and then I've kind of had the mid-90s Oilers, and probably the best memory for me is obviously the 2006 Stanley Cup final run that the Oilers made, the Cinderella run that just didn't quite finish the way we wanted to. But the Edmonton Oilers is definitely my favorite team. All right, King Dragon X asks, do you drink Tim Hortons coffee? And if so, what do you drink? No, I don't drink any coffee at all. Not Tim Hortons, not Starbucks, not Second Cup, nothing. I don't like coffee. I do not like it for a couple reasons. I don't like the taste, and B, I don't like to be caffeine dependent like other people are. I'm able to get myself up in the morning and feel pretty good without the influence of caffeine. And eventually down the road when you're 60, 70, caffeine can be very difficult on your heart at that age, and I really don't need that in my system. So if I don't have an addiction to it, then I'm fine. But if I do go to Tim Hortons or Second Cup or what have you, or Starbucks, I will get either a hot chocolate. I mean, if it's Starbucks, maybe one of those smoothies. They've got pretty good smoothies, but no coffee, no coffee at all. All right, next question. Brian Pereira asks, would you actually consider doing a season mode with retro games? He gave an example as NHL 2000. Unlikely. Mainly because I'm really busy with other series as it is. I mean, I've got so many series on the go now. I've got Titanfall, Be a GM, Live the Life, Online Shootout, Online versus FIFA, Dead Rising, GTA, Call of Duty. I have so many different series going right now that I just could not possibly squeeze something like that in, something less applicable like NHL 2000. We talked about in the last video, but more likely you will see me using that manager, franchise hockey manager. I think that's more likely to see than NHL 2000. But you know what? I'll let you guys decide, because it's up to you guys what you want to see. Do you want to see old games like NHL 2000? Or actually, I think they probably started in about 2006 when you could really get a good GM mode going. 2000 wouldn't have a very good mode, but we'll see how things go. All right, next question comes to Jassy Minus. He asks, who is your favorite YouTuber? Interesting question. The funny thing was, when I first started watching YouTube and stuff, I got into DanMan5000, if anybody remember watching him. He shut down his channel a while ago. And then came Johnny Superbman, and I watched Johnny Superbman, Nasher. But I've kind of gotten away from those guys. I don't really watch much YouTube hockey anymore. I don't even watch my own videos. That's pretty sad. No one should watch their own videos, if only for just editing. But my favorite YouTuber, I couldn't say one for sure. I watch a ton of prank channels. I love prank channels and fails, like Fail Army, or what's the other one? The Juke Video. But there's also like Roman Atwood pranks, Ed Bassmaster, Jack Vale. I like watching pranksters. They make me laugh. I like those videos. They're hilarious. So that's what I spend most of my time on YouTube doing, is actually watching the prank videos. So if you guys haven't seen any of those guys, any of the ones I just listed, go ahead and check them out, because you're going to laugh your ass off. They're hilarious. They're a huge time waster. All right. Anson and Minicraft asks, who is the best player in the NHL right... Oh, I skipped one. Yeah, we'll do that one. Who's the best player in the NHL right now? I don't think there's a doubt about it. It's Sidney Crosby. The guy leads the league in points. And he's just a dominating player on the ice. He's got great leadership skills for his team, and he's still really young. So I mean, he's only born in '87. I mean, Sidney Crosby has a ton of years left ahead of him, probably like 8 to 10 years. So I think that Sidney Crosby is the best player in the NHL today. Next question's from John Winchester. He asks, who will win the Cup this year? I think... You know what? I wouldn't have said it before the trade deadline, but I'm going to say it after the trade deadline. St. Louis. After adding Ryan Miller and Steve Ott, especially Ryan Miller, obviously, they really come out on top as the heavy favorite. And I'm going to have to give this one to St. Louis just based on that information, or just based on that trade. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy how good they are now. So tight defensively, and now you add an elite goaltender like Ryan Miller. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. They're going to be a scary team to watch, that's for sure. All right, next question comes from Chomps Jews. What do you think about the Martin St. Louis deal? Who came out on top? Tampa definitely comes out on top. If you can get rid of an older player like Martin St. Louis, what is he, 36, 37, for Ryan Callahan, who's like 30, and also get a first and a prospect, I think that you win that hands down. Martin St. Louis is good, but he's only got maybe 1-2 years left of solid hockey before he's done. I mean, Martin St. Louis has overcome a lot of obstacles in his career. Who knows? Maybe he's got more gas in the tank than we expect. But in terms of long-term, Ryan Callahan's going to pay off a lot more than Martin St. Louis. And I think he'd honestly take a little bit less money to play in Tampa than he would to play in New York. I think he felt like he was getting squeezed out there. All right. Mario Mazzoto asks, I live in Edmonton too. I was wondering what elementary, junior high, and senior high schools you went to. I went to St. Benedict for elementary. That was in the West End. And then I went to St. Thomas More, so I was in the Catholic system, which is also in the West End. And I finished off, I was talking about before with the lockdown and all that, St. Joseph's. It's a school downtown. Basically what that school is, it's called independent, well, it was at the time, it's called personalized self-directed learning. And what you do is you do modules, and you can basically complete the whole year in 1 month if you really wanted to. It's completely up to you. But it's an at-your-pace learning system. You know what? Having done it, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It is a procrastinator's nightmare. If you procrastinate whatsoever, you're screwed, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But those are the schools I went to, and then I went to Grant MacEwan University for the finishing it off there. Crazy J asks, how old are you and what's your profession? I'm 24 years old. I turned 25 at the end of the year. Well, towards the end of the year. I'm in September. And for my profession, I spoke about it in the previous video, so if you go back and check that out, you'll find the answer there. And I mean, it's vague, but I don't want to give too much information away on that. Jake Heerwagon asks, are you a prison guard? No, I'm not a prison guard. I don't work in a prison. I do go to the jail, the city jail downtown. I am in there. But I'm not a prison guard, no. Next question comes from Badger Crafter. Since you see Vancouver going to shit, Florida being so crappy, and Phoenix possibly moving, where do you think these teams could possibly relocate, and what should their name be? All right, I'll tell you right now, Vancouver's not going anywhere. Just because they're having a tough time and they seem to be on the rebuild doesn't mean they're going to go anywhere. The Edmonton Oilers didn't go anywhere, and the Vancouver Canucks aren't going anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. They're in Vancouver to stay. Phoenix is also there to stay. They're going to be renamed the Arizona Coyotes come next year. They have a long-term agreement now, so I don't see Phoenix going anywhere anytime soon. I think the new owners are going to be able to generate some revenue and actually get them out of the basement. So I think for Phoenix, you're going to see a lot more of the Desert Dogs as Arizona anyway. Florida might move. Now, like, there's a lot of different things that go around that go on in order to determine whether a team is actually feasible in a city. Florida's been around a long time, and you know what? They don't produce very good in terms of their sellouts. So I mean, they don't have very much attendance. It's crazy. But let's play devil's advocate and say they do move. I think the two likely candidates are either Seattle or Quebec City. Mainly because both cities have arenas available that will be conducive for hockey. There was talk about Markham and also Hamilton. Both of those places are in Ontario. I don't see either of those ones getting a team before Seattle or Quebec City. I would think that I'm going to lean towards Seattle because Gary Bettman doesn't like teams going to Canada. He already gave up and allowed the team to move from Atlanta to Winnipeg. I don't see another team moving to Canada for at least another decade. But I could be wrong. I think that Florida will end up in Seattle if they do move. In terms of a team name, I don't know. Could you call them Seattle Thunderbirds? I don't know. But that's definitely a tough question to ask. All right. Goldhead-Napo. What is your opinion on Sweden? Would you like to visit Sweden? I would love to visit Sweden. Sweden's a beautiful country. I've never been there. It's one of my places to see, along with, Finland and Switzerland and a bunch of different places in there, Denmark. I want to see all those, what do you call it? Nordic, is that the term? Nordic countries? I want to visit the Nordic countries, like those ones. I think that'd be an absolutely amazing experience. Maybe you could take me to see the hot spots there at Golden-Napo. All right, Ethan MC, or Mick, will you ever show your face? Probably not. I can't really afford to jeopardize my career just in case. I don't want people to, recognize me at work because they saw me on YouTube, It's just, I don't think anything bad would happen. It's just one of those lines that I don't know if I really want to cross. We'll see how things go, though. I may change my tune, but right now, I mean, I'm 2 to 3 years into doing this. 2 years into doing this, and it's 2 years. I'm having a hard time remembering, and I just don't see the need at this point. So who knows? That may change. All right, and the final question here that we're going to take care of today, we've gone through pretty quick, actually. I kind of killed these all. It's awesome. MK951 asks, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, if you guys have seen any of my other videos where I included music, it's almost all rock. So, I mean, rock is my favorite by far. I said before when I was talking about how I came up with the name target audience, Marilyn Manson's my favorite. I also really like Jet, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, pretty much all the hard rock bands. I like Buckcherry. Also, Slash has like his new solo venture that he's got going on, and it's amazing. He's got an amazing vocalist by the name of Miles Kennedy. He was the lead singer for Alter Bridge, and now he sings for Slash. And he just won lead vocalist of the year for, who was that? What magazine was it? Starts with an S. Some magazine that puts out, it's a rock magazine that rates different artists, albums, songs, stuff like that. And he actually won, for best vocalist of the year. So if that means anything anyway, but whatever. All right, guys, well, that's it for this one. Please send in your questions on Twitter. Put them in the comments section below. Remember, I do the Twitter questions first, so if you want to get your question in there, you want to make sure it's in, get it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Also on there, I keep you up to date with my personal life. I keep you up to date with new videos that are being posted, random musings, whatever you want. It's all going to be up there. So make sure you follow me there at TargetOdd18. If you haven't already done it, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, please. We need to build my fan base a little bit more. People need to get the message that there's actually good content out there that isn't pack openings. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. So until next time, I'm Target Audience, and I'll see you guys out on the ice, out on the pitch, and out on the battlefield. You have a good one.